Avatar The Last Airbender has always been one of my favorite shows, and it brought me so much joy to hear that we're getting more stories in the Avatar universe through the newly announced Avatar Studios. I'm a little tired of all the subscription services, but I'll happily pay for Paramount Plus for some new and old Avatar content.
Just buy it. You don't have to rationalize everything.
All right, I will buy it. It'll be good for the economy.
Netflix has brought a lot of attention and success to their franchise, which I'm so thankful for. However, with all the success that Avatar's received, I can only hope that the people at Paramount don't try to force content out just to get people to join their subscription service. So in this video, I want to go over my thoughts for what we could see from the new Avatar Studios and what concerns I might have. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out, and leave a like if you enjoyed the video. With that out of the way, let's get straight into the video. I think that the first thing I would hope to see from Avatar Studios would be a backstory on the Red Lotus. The Red Lotus have easily become one of my favorite antagonist groups within the Avatar universe, and I was definitely intrigued by these characters more so than Korra and the team. The main reason the Red Lotus stood out to me was because of Zahir. He was calculated, wise, and able to achieve flight, which most airbending masters are unable to achieve, and he became well versed in airbending very quickly without an airbending master to teach him. A show or series based off the Red Lotus could focus on its upbringing, since it could have easily been around as long as the White Lotus has been. We already know that the White Lotus is a few generations old, dating all the way back to when Kyoshi was the Avatar. The information is hinted within the Kyoshi novels, so if you haven't read them, you definitely should. They deepen the Avatar lore, they introduce one of the best villains in the Avatar universe, they're canon, and they're overall just a really good read. For all we know, the Red Lotus could date all the way back to Guru Lahima being one of the founders of the Red Lotus. We also hear Guru Lahima's name pop up in the Kyoshi novels, along with the new name, Guru Shokin. Their names were mentioned by Lao Ge, who is one of Kyoshi's mentors from the novels, which gives me thinking that the Red Lotus has always been around, even before Korra, and they probably went into hiding during the 100-Year War. As I'm putting this all together, I'd have to give my hypothesis and say that the Red Lotus originated from the air nomads. Guru Lahima is such a mysterious person, and it wouldn't surprise me if there were some corrupt airbenders within the Air Nation, similar to how there were corrupt members of the White Lotus that went on to form the Red Lotus. I guess the only thing left to do is wait and see if they decide to explore this history and give us more than speculation. Another possibility for a series we could see from the Avatar Studios would have to be the exploration of a past Avatar. I know a lot of people would like to see Avatar Kyoshi get a series, but I'd have to disagree, seeing as the Kyoshi novels have done a pretty good job of telling pieces of her story so far. I'd really prefer a series based on an Avatar that came before Kyoshi and Karuk, perhaps a series on Yang Chen, since she was so popular to the people within the Avatar universe. I'd hope to see more novels focused on Kyoshi instead of a series, although chronologically it would make sense to see her in an animated show. If we were to follow the Avatar cycle, water, earth, fire, and air, we already have two incantations of the Avatar cycle, Aang being the air avatar and Korra being the water avatar. The next avatar in the cycle would be earth and preceded by fire. So seeing Kyoshi as the next Avatar series has a probable likelihood, and if we were to see Kyoshi get a series, I can only hope we'll see more of her story further explored on top of what the books already gave us. Whether or not we see a series based on Yang Chen, Kyoshi, or a different past Avatar, I don't think it should be some big 3 or 4 season event, but rather just a 1-season spin-off series. It could expand upon the lore of the Avatarverse, dive into fan favorite characters, and set up a lot of events that we could see in upcoming shows. Meanwhile, saving the 3 to 4 season long epic for main timeline future avatars, specifically the Earth and Fire avatars after Korra. Thinking back to Avatar 1 with this 2-episode mini-series within Korra, this would be such a good foundation for future series on past avatars. Focus on the previous avatar's main accomplishments while shedding more light on the lore within the universe. Personally, I love to see the history of the second avatar and what life must have been like discovering you are the reincarnation of the first avatar. Maybe even see how the avatars accepted into society, finding their role, and hardships they may have encountered trying to fit in. Any series that takes place featuring a past avatar would only benefit the lore and storytelling for future series to come. Now let's talk about a series focused on an earthbending avatar post-Korra. We know that after Korra, the next avatar will be an earthbender, so we could very easily see the next Avatar series be centered on the next Earth avatar. For this next series, I hope it won't be so centered on Republic City, but instead be an Odyssey-driven story like Aang's journey was. This is where I felt Korra was a little bland. It kept repeating the formula of introducing a villain and then overcoming said villain with no overarching threat throughout the show. Aang's journey had Ozai as the overarching villain, but introduced Zhao and Azula as hurdles for the group to overcome. Earth, being obviously my favorite element if you couldn't tell by my YouTube name, has some of the coolest variations of bending amongst the 4 elements. Earthbenders have the capability to bend metal, lava, paint, as in seen with the Kyoshi novels, and use seismic sense. Now, we've only seen earthbenders able to bend either metal or lava, but not both. I think it would be really cool if the next avatar was able to utilize all bending variations of their native element, earth. I really want to see an avatar in the avatar state fully utilize metal or lava. I think that would be the coolest thing to see. I think this next series idea is a fan favorite, and that is a show that details the events of the original Avatar group as adults and the hardships they encounter within Republic City. The story foundation of Republic City can be found within the comic books, although I don't think a lot of Avatar fans have read them, so the series could open with a couple episodes recapping the events from the comics. In this series, I'd like to see the group's first encounter with the Red Lotus, since we know Zuko at least knows about them. In Korra, we see Aang briefly face off against Yukon, a powerful bloodbender, and take away his bending since the technique was made forbidden. Yukon is also Unilog's father, who is a member of the Red Lotus. Avatar Studios could even explore more of Yukon's backstory and maybe reveal a connection to the Red Lotus. There were also some unanswered questions about the original Avatar group that were left after finishing Korra. What happened to Sokka? Why did Toph become a police chief when she was all about being rebellious and breaking rules? Also, what happened to Azula and Suki? These were just a few of the questions I had after the show that I hope we'll get to see some light shed on if we get a series that focuses on the adult Avatar team. I figure most of the group spent their time establishing Republic City, but I wonder if they also traveled to parts of the world to resolve conflicts that weren't seen in the comics. It would be cool to see more of their journey, establish new characters, and build upon the lore of the Avatar universe. This also wouldn't have to be a 3 to 4 season long epic, it could be told in a single season format similar to how I imagine a past Avatar show would be told. Okay, this next series idea has to be my favorite, so much so that I had to save it for last. Have y'all ever read the Marvel What If comics, or at least heard about them? Marvel is actually doing an animated show on What If, where it tells the alternate storylines different from the mainline MCU. Anyways, I'd like to see a similar idea explored from the new Avatar Studios. Please, this needs to happen. My idea would be that each episode would be a self-contained scenario. Each episode would show what the world and characters would be like with this change implemented. I have a few ideas for you, so I'm going to go ahead and pitch them to y'all and let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. What if Toph had never been blind? Well, for starters, she probably wouldn't have been as capable of an earthbender as we saw on the comics and shows. Toph used earthbending as a way to prove to people, especially her father, that she wasn't a helpless little blind girl, but instead capable of great things. If Toph was never blind, we can also say she would have never developed metal bending or seismic sense. Toph used seismic sense to see, which is essentially seeing the vibrations in the ground in order to interact with her environment. She also used seismic sense to discover metal bending, so the two kind of went hand in hand. My final thought on this is that she would have never joined Team Avatar, since she wouldn't have been the same capable bender that we've seen in the show. My next what if idea is, what if Saka was a bender? Specifically water. Really the only thing that comes to mind is Saka would have been so incredibly powerful that he discovered a new sub-bending discipline, that being cactus juice bending.
It's very thirst quenching though. Drink cactus juice. It'll quench you. Nothing's quenchier. It's the quenchiest.
My last idea is, what if Iroh had conquered Ba Sing Se? This scenario is probably the one that would spill into a bunch of other situations. I believe if Iroh conquered Ba Sing Se, assuming his son Lu Ten never passed away, he would have been deemed Fire Lord over Ozai. This would make Iroh the Fire Lord during the 100-Year War and probably escalate the Fire Nation's victory. When Iroh failed to conquer Ba Sing Se, it became a refuge for a lot of people as a place to be safe from the Fire Nation. Now with Ba Sing Se fallen, I believe the morale within the Earth Kingdom would have been diminished, and then after the Earth Kingdom is conquered, the Water Tribes would be next and there wouldn't be any hope left for them. This would mean that Sokka and Katara would have never discovered Aang in the iceberg and the Fire Nation would have won the war. Yes, definitely not the outcome I want by any means, especially because it's Iroh. Iroh could never do that.
There's nothing wrong with a life of peace and prosperity. I suggest you think about what it is that you want from your life and why.
I have some more ideas for the What If series, and if y'all enjoyed these few topics I discussed, I may make a separate video discussing them in further detail. Just let me know in the comments if y'all would like to see that. Alright, so the last thing I wanted to cover here is my concerns I have with the future Avatar projects. Now that may seem a little pessimistic, whereas I should be thankful we'll be getting more content in the Avatar universe, but if Nintendo Directs have taught me anything, it's that don't get your expectations set too high.
That's super disappointing.
I have full faith in Brian and Mike when it comes to creating new Avatar content, but the people at Paramount and Viacom may just be hungry for exclusives that they can bring to Paramount Plus and end up rushing production on a new series. I hope this won't be the case, but we've seen how competitive the streaming industry is with exclusive content. I can only hope Paramount Plus has an outline for exclusive releases and not trying to bum rush some new Avatar content as fast as possible. Another concern I have is that Avatar The Last Airbender was such a good show, one of my favorite shows of all time, and I just don't think any new stories could live up to the excitement the first installment brought me. This is part of the reason that there was such a huge divide between whether or not Aang's journey was better than Korra's, and no, I'm not going to get into that discussion here. This circles back to me not letting my expectations get the best of me. New content can be good, but it doesn't always need to be compared to something in order to prove it is good. In the end, I'm just excited we'll get to keep exploring the world of Avatar. That pretty much wraps up my thoughts on the series I'd like to see from Avatar Studios. Still remaining hesitant on future productions in the Avatar universe, but staying hopeful that the new series will still carry the same magic we all know and love from the first series. If you're new here, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel out. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and let me know in the comment section below what you hope to see from Avatar Studios. With that being said, I will see y'all in the next video.